Welcome back to fourth quarter action here. It's going to be a third down play, and it's going to be bobbled, picked up. Smith has it, stumbles forward. He's going to gain a couple, but this is going to be fourth down. And about 4 yards, maybe 5 yards to go for the Hurricanes.
Canes huddle up around Coach Figueroa.
Bringing almost everybody over into that huddle to get the play.
I don't see a punter on the field right now. And
no, it looks like they're just going to go ahead and go for it as Smith and number 30, Riddick in the backfield. Smith calls for the football, drops back, throws a pass to Rojas, but he's going to be taken down. So a turnover on downs on the play. And South Lafourche will again take over here. 11 minutes and the clock's going to go ahead and continue to run as we will try to get ourselves closer to the conclusion of this ball game.
Well, the Canes roll the dice and it comes up snake eyes. But Jason, you have to try something. The clock, 10 minutes and 40 seconds left. And, can't ever let your kids think that you're giving up.
So the Tarpon offense comes back onto the field, and it looks like we've got some changes, at least along the offensive line. The only reason I say that is I can see that 79, Big Grenier, is not in the game at the tackle position right now. They're going to hand it off, run up the middle, and this is Vega who's going to be taken down. Give him a gain of about 4 on the play, and it's to the 32-yard line.
And Vega's the type of back for South Lafourche that gives you that little extra oomph. He's got that quick step, and he doesn't look like the type that loses yardage. You know, when he hits somebody, he usually falls forward, even though he's not a big kid.
Man goes in motion. Linich looks like he's ready. Hands it off to Vega up the middle, and he's going to be taken down at the 31, so gains maybe only about a yard on the play. And this will bring up a third down situation. Clock continuing to run inside of 9 minutes, 17 seconds in the fourth quarter.
Well, let's see if South Lafourche continues to work on their ground game, or if they take to the air and try and get some points, which they don't really need at this time.
Linich calls for the football. He hands it off to Vega up the middle, and he's met hard, taken down. He's at about the 29, so going to be fourth down, about 4 yards to go. And again, a decision for Coach Gaines' staff to make here.
Well, the Canes defense is, grudgingly trying to hang in there. Hopefully they can put up a stop here, build some confidence.
Put a tight end at the line. They're going to hand it off one more time to Vega, and he falls forward, but he's going to be short, so it's going to be a turnover on downs. And South Plaquemines will get the ball back. The clock does continue to run as we're seemingly kind of a running time situation, and now they're going to call for the clock to stop. 8:08 showing. And this Hurricane offense will get to come back onto the field, although it looks like we've got one of those officials timeouts. So I guess we'll take a quick timeout and come back with more of your Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week as South Plaquemines trails South Lafourche 27-0. More of the Game of the Week after this. Welcome back to the Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week. 1st and 10, Kendrick Smith in at quarterback as Sherman has his jersey off on the near sideline. And a flag's going to fly here. And it looks like another procedure penalty against South Plaquemines. So, again, we talk about things you want to take away from this game, and definitely cleaning up some of these penalties that you're seeing on offense is going to be key for Coach Figueroa and this Hurricane team.
Certainly, Jason, this is a non-district ball game, and of course you want to win every game, but I think with the trying to accomplish here is they're playing, excellent competition, and that's what it's about. They're trying to make sure that they can improve in the little small details of the game.
Going to throw it up deep. Has a receiver back there, but it's going to be intercepted on the play. And that's number 22, Benny Serigny, who takes it in. And Tyler Martin makes the stop, but another turnover. And South Lafourche will get the ball back here. 7:54 on the clock. And you would think that the Tarpons, again, just going to kind of run the ball here, eat up this clock. And
Jason, here comes the big first-string lineman back on the field.
Billy Grenier, number 79, left tackle. Can't miss him if you're watching on TV. He's about twice the size of anybody else on the field right now. Quarterback Felinich hands it off to Vega, tries to go up the middle, manages to stay on his feet, fight forward. Everybody's pulling at the football. And now they're going to say his forward progress is stopped, but good hard run. Gains about 4 on the play. So again, second down, 6 yards to go. Clock continues to run here.
Sean Wilson continues to give everything he's got out there as he makes another tackle.
And this is going to be very close to a first down, as I believe that time they gave the ball to number 42, and that's LaQuindon Randall. So this is a first down.
And Jason, this is 7 minutes left in the last quarter here. What a great opportunity to get some young backs in the game. And, they brought a nice crowd and let all the reserves go home happy.
Give it to Randall, and this time he gets nothing as he's hitting the backfield, and that looked like number 50, Jonathan Wilson, on the stop. Younger brother of Sean Wilson on the team. And when you look at Jonathan's size, they're really not all that different.
Yeah, the Wilson boys, like I said, given a lot to this Hurricane team with their effort tonight.
Did a little research on Grenier, who we've been talking about at the left tackle position. He will be playing next year in the SEC, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it after this play as they hand it off. Justin Doucette goes up the middle, gets back to lost yardage, and Grenier is going to be a Commodore as he's headed to Nashville to play for Vanderbilt next year. And he received offers from, you look at this list, it's almost a who's who of college football. Is Florida State, Nick Saban and Alabama offered, Arizona and the University of Houston all offered, but he decided to go to Vanderbilt. So look for this guy, maybe not necessarily next year, but in the upcoming years on an SEC roster.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Hand it off, and again, it's number 2, Doucette. And he's basically back to the original line of scrimmage, so this is going to bring up fourth down. 10 yards to go. And it looks like they're going to bring in the punting team here.
Well, you never can get enough practice with the special teams.
And maybe a good opportunity here to try and work on pinning a team deep as you're at the 36. South Plaquemines is not really going to pressure the punter. They're going to let this one bounce all the way into the end zone for a touchback. So 4:45 and counting on the, well, it stopped on the clock. South Plaquemines will get the ball one more time at the 20-yard line. We'll see if they can muster some points on the board to avoid the shutout here.
Yeah, the Canes really came out of this game banged up tonight. It looks like Sherman is finished for the night. He's taken off his shoulder pads and walking along the sidelines. Wallop and Wade Barthélemy is out.
And from what we understand, he was actually taken to the hospital for some precautions. As if you remember, he was taken down by that horse collar tackle and his leg kind of got turned up under him. So we certainly hope he's okay and wish him the best. You talk about road trips, and not only we talked about the one South Lafourche had to take next week, South Plaquemines, they're traveling all the way out of the state as they're heading up to, I believe it's Woodville, Mississippi, where they'll be playing Wilkinson County High School. So not too far of a trip, as Wilkinson County is actually the county in the extreme southwestern part of Mississippi, so it's right on the like the Washington Parish line there. But again, you don't normally see teams, especially in like the lower levels of high school football, making trips out of state in the non-district.
And I'll never forget Jason on one of our trips. You know, one of the kids got all excited. He hollered from the back of the bus, and Coach, I don't feel protected because there's no levees around here. And I don't think there'll be a levee up in Wilkinson County.
Probably not. So we'll see how the Wilkinson Wildcats, a team we don't ever get to talk about on Plaquemines Prep. We tried to do a little research. There wasn't much to find out about them. Their season starts before Louisiana's high school season, so they will have about 4 or 5 games under their belt before they play South Plaquemines. And again, we will be in Belchase next Friday night for the game between Belchase and Bruley. So, Bruley, one of those kind of traditional state-ranked, really good teams. So we'll see how the Cardinals show, because from what we saw, the Cardinals are rolling tonight. They were up by 30-something points on Carver at halftime. So we'll see what they can do. Smith on first down drops back. He's going to pass, and he's going to be hauled down. This is going to be pass interference, as number 30, Aaron Billiot, decided to go ahead and tackle Tyler Martin instead of defending the play.
Well, the Canes have an opportunity here. They've got some new faces in for South Lafourche, and let's hope that the Canes can put some points up on the board. 4:40 remaining in the last quarter.
The ball's going to come out to the 35, 15-yard penalty. You've got an uncovered slot receiver to the near side. Smith calls for the football, drops back. He's going to throw it deep, and he's got Martin back there, but it's going to be intercepted. Nice catch on the play from the South Lafourche defender. Still on his feet, coming back, he fumbles the football, and the Hurricanes may have gotten this back as it kind of went into a pile. There's a flag on the near side. There's all kinds of things we're going to have to sort out here.
It looks like the officials signal Canes ball, unless he was confused with the direction.
Looks like this penalty is actually going to go against South Lafourche. The way they're discussing it, they're asking the captains for South Plaquemines, so you would think on such a complicated play you might want to check with the coach. Coach Figueroa is almost all the way out to the hash marks on the near side of the field, trying to at least listen in and get an explanation as to what's going on. The flag's laying at about the 41 on the near sideline right in front of the South Plaquemines bench. But again, the return on the interception, that was Larry Mack.
Well, the thing I want to see is who's going to get the ball.
So the hold, and it's going to be 10 yards maybe from the end of the play. And we'll have to wait and see. There's again a lot of discussion taking place. 4:12 on the clock, and the referees discuss.
We may have to call John Kerry to come in and straighten out this situation.
Whatever diplomats we can get down here on the field. So still waiting to see where and how this is going to be placed. They're going to put it at the 45. Seemingly, South Plaquemines would have been better off to decline the penalty and just leave it at the 48. They lost 3 yards by taking the penalty. So and they're still going to discuss this.
Better skip Kerry and call in the UN.
We're going to need a couple of people to sort this one out. So And it looks like these side judges and back, they're going to come and maybe ask Coach Figueroa personally. Not sure, because that Coach Figueroa is now asking, why'd they back us up? And South Lafourche, after all of this, is going to take a timeout to discuss.
Well, I guess they're not in a rush to get back on Highway 90.
They're going to be home after midnight at the rate we're going. But Coach Figueroa is going to ask any official that'll give him an ear to listen, and now he's finally going to talk to his team. Just a bizarre circumstance there. Regardless, it's going to be 1st and 10 for South Plaquemines. Now, whether they're playing from the 45, the 48, or maybe even the opposing 42 is yet to be determined, as there's still 3 officials standing over the ball trying to figure out exactly where this should have been.
Well, you go from running the clock, which is a signal you're trying to get the game over with, to all of a sudden
now it's been stopped
major
for a couple of
roundtable
minutes
discussion.
as they figure this out. Even the South Lafourche coaches came onto the field because they seem just as confused about whatever's going on here as anything else.
Just let the kids play and have a good time, finish the game up. I don't think there's any question as to who's going to come out the winner.
The outcome is pretty much decided. You're playing for pride, and if you're South Plaquemines, you'd like to get some points on the board here. But again, you just kind of want to get out of here with no injuries and get to the conclusion of this game. The referee will now, in no apparent hurry, walk over to the South Lafourche side and have a discussion with Coach Gaines. So we'll see how they sort this out. The ball is being moved back, so it looks like about the 49-yard line. So there's 2 officials on the near side having a discussion with Coach Figueroa.
Well, Jason, with all of that, we still have 4 minutes and 12 seconds left in the 4th quarter. The score, for those of you who have maybe just tuned in, South Lafourche 27, and the Hurricanes have a 0 on the board, trying desperately to get 6 points.
Now the question is, can they remember where the ball was supposed to be spotted originally? And I think we now have it figured out. Everyone seems to be getting back in place.
And if the officials will give the Hurricane offense an opportunity, they may have a chance to get the 6 points on the board.
Clock now running, 4:07 and showing, or in running. Martin in motion, Smith in the backfield. Low snap. Smith finally picks it up. He's going to be running for his life. It pops out of his hand, and it's going to be still on the ground. Picked up by a South Lafourche player. Now he fumbles it. Now, if this is South Plaquemines' ball, I believe it should be 1st down because there was a change of possession there.
Well, Jason, at this point, I guess we'll leave it to the officials.
Yeah, no way of knowing, but as the opposing player picked it up, this should be 1st and 10, but instead it's going to be 2nd and a really, really long way to go. 2nd in numbers that probably don't even appear in the to-go column.
Suffice it to say, they had several change of possessions on that play.
The play clock's going to run out on this one as it was down to 0. Flags are going to fly. So back them up 5 yards as if they needed it to get any worse. It's going to be 2nd and 39, and I'm sure however big Coach Figueroa's playbook is, there is no section for 2nd and 39. Ball's at the 11. They need to get to the South Lafourche 41. Smith is just going to run it. And he gets to the outside. He kind of runs into the tackler, and he's going to be taken down. Short gain on the play. Clock will continue to run.
Well, I thought the Canes might have an opportunity when they were at midfield, but it looks dim now.
So 3rd down, and we'll call it officially, I guess, 36. 34 it should be. Smith is going to hand it off. and gaining a couple of yards there. It looks like that's number 30. Delward Riddick. So it's going to be 4th down. And maybe about a quarter mile to go for a first. Clock inside of 2 minutes. And it looks like South Plaquemines is just going to go ahead and go for it. You would assume South Lafourche will just kneel on it if they get the ball back here, which seems like almost a certainty.
Well, you're going to have to put it up and hope for either a reception or a pass interference.
Maybe you get an offsides penalty. You get them 5 yards closer, so the more manageable 4th and 28. So again, trying to kind of make light of the situation at the end of the game here. One of the other fortunate things that may happen here is that they'll be able to run some more clock as it's down to 1:30 and counting. Smith gets the football, drops back. He's going to throw it, and it's going to be intercepted by number 8, Connor Sheremy. So South Lafourche gets the ball. The clock's going to continue to run here as now they'll stop it with 1:11 showing on it. And we should see just a couple of victory formation kneel downs, and we'll be out of here with a 27-0 outcome. Can't imagine there's anything else for South Lafourche to do, although they're in that huddle for an awfully long time. They break the huddle. Again, some new faces all over the field.
Well, if you don't get a chance to play in this situation, it could be a long season.
Harvey Allen, who's been playing receiver all night, comes in at quarterback. Going to hand it to Vega. Poor guy still got to play in the running back's position. He's taken down. Maybe a loss on the play. Clock inside of the final minute. And the officials are going to be in no hurry to start the play clock here. So we should only have one, maybe two more plays to get to the conclusion, and they're going to come in and just kneel the ball down.
And it looks like that might be the old ball game.
It
Jason.
should be. They're checking to make sure that's it. They're going to go very slowly before they restart this play clock. The official doing everything he can to make sure they all take their time. Now he can run it, and it's okay because that's going to run out the clock. So I believe Coach Gaines, they're going to call everybody off the field, and we've reached the conclusion as the final seconds tick away. Your final score from Port Sulphur tonight, the Tarpons of South Lafourche 27, and now there's a flag on the play. Seemingly silly. They're going to call a penalty here. So this may result in what's going to have to be an untimed down. Although if it's against the offense, I believe they can decline it or count a 10-second runoff. The clock's run out, and I think even Coach Figueroa just wants to get out of here. And angrily he walks to the sideline. It's not quite over, as we will have to play an untimed down.
And this is a mistake by the officials, Jason.
Just silly
this
because
is uncalled for.
Essentially, they called him for an illegal motion because they were all running off the field at the same time. I don't even think they snapped the ball, but that's it. The clock's run out, and one more time, your final score: South Lafourche 27, South Plaquemines 0. We'll take a quick break and come back to wrap things up on your Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week after this. And welcome back to Port Sulphur. We're here to wrap up your Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week. A tough one for South Plaquemines as they lose it tonight to South Lafourche 27-0. But we do want to go ahead and award our Plaquemines Prep Player of the Week. And Coach, sometimes just heart and grit don't show up on the stat sheet, and that's what we have tonight. So I'll let you do the honors who our Player of the Game is tonight.
Well, if you've ever watched John Wayne in True Grit, you know that the award tonight goes to a kid who showed true grit, the quarterback for South Plaquemines, Brandon Sherman. Repeatedly was knocked down and eventually was put out of the ball game, but boy, he showed a lot of character and a lot of determination in trying to move this Hurricane offense.
Yeah, I would have to imagine if he was given any sort of medical clearance at the end of that game, he would have been back in, but the trainer's obviously not going to let him get back into a situation like that. So that's going to wrap up tonight's game. We will be in Belchase next week for the game between Belchase and Bruley. So to say good night from Port Sulphur, for Carl Johnson behind the camera and the coach, Amos Cormier, I'm Jason Tonglet. Thanks for watching your Plaquemines Prep Game of the Week.